Beth, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
E. All right, thanks everybody for joining us. This is the Daily Gun Show. We come to you live every weeknight at midnight Eastern, for approximately, for about an hour each night. We talk about guns. We got Angelina joining us from California. Thanks for joining.
What up, gangsters?
I'm down here in Tucson, and we've got people joining us on the YouTube side. And we started a little late because Clover was doing his show tonight, and we were simulcasting it over on Gun Channels. Just remind everybody the chat room's working fine down below. When you click on the menu down at the bottom and then pop the chat room open, works fine down there. Up if in the room, you need to refresh the page every once in a while. All right, so Wednesday? No.
Thursday?
So that makes it, I forgot what we called Thursday. Training Thursday. We don't really have any training topics tonight, though. But I have a couple of things to talk about before we dig into it. Anything going on? Anything happen that was cool? Interesting? Unique?
I did sublimation today, so that was fun. I did that.
Because it's legal now in California to do recreationally?
Yeah. Did you see the license plate?
No. What are we talking about here? Something on Instagram?
Well, yeah, go on the Instagram. Obviously, you've been under a
I
rock.
don't find people on Instagram today.
But yeah, so I mean, it was hot as fuck, and I still was, pumping a 400-degree heat press.
Looks like we got some table covers. I don't know
it's on my feed, not my weird stories.
So the feed. Now I figured out the feed, and I guess I could be watching it. Oh, you did a Gun Channels G on an Arizona flag?
On a license plate, yeah, sublimation.
Is that a big smear down the middle of it? There's a giant smear on this.
There's not a smear on there. It's a reflection.
Reflection or something. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. So if somebody wanted something like that done, were they talking $30,000?
Yeah, about 30,000. And then another probably 1,000 to ship it. But for real, I don't know. A custom license plate I think is about $30. But it's not a sticker, it's actually sublimated, so it's far superior.
So instead of being a high quality piece of vinyl with some printing and then a UV protectant stuck to a piece of aluminum, you're saying it's better to take a bunch of pigment and place it onto a medium and then lay that on the piece of aluminum and then heat transfer it to the aluminum so that it literally can't be picked off as if it was a paint on there?
Yeah, I mean, you can scratch off the coating on there, but it's kind of a chore. But it's definitely pretty awesome. So the Gun Channels one, I don't know, you might have to make that a thing.
That's pretty cool. It would work in Colorado, I think, good. Probably a couple other states where it would look really good because they have a single design like that.
Yeah. I mean, you could do California with a G instead of the star.
Instead of the bear, maybe.
You can't get rid of the bear. Monarch's the best. Anyway, so yeah, that's what I did today.
Right on. I was working on the 2A project some more. Thanks to the people over on Patreon allowing that to happen. It's been really interesting kind of chatting with people in the live chats throughout the day about that, and had some help with the research last night after I don't know what we were doing. Was it a Smeggy Cave yesterday that ended up lasting all night until the early watch? And we really dug into some 2A history, so it was a lot of fun last night.
Yeah.
You stuck around until pretty late, 2 a.m.?
Yeah, probably about that then. I
Got
went
too
away.
dirty for you or something, and then you left? 'Cause it was
It got a little too dirty for me. It's a little
nerdy, I said, not
No,
dirty.
no, I meant dirty. Um, yeah. I don't know. I figured, there's a lot of guys in there. Things were getting weird.
Yeah, talking about the guy who invented the Daisy air rifle and then how BBs were developed and why they call them BBs.
And there was the whole, what was it, like top 10
Songs for a while. Yeah.
top 10 bands? Yeah, top 10 bands.
All right. Well, so that was last night, and then we're digging into Training Thursday, which we don't have any training topics. So we'll dig into the only topic we have here today. Are battery-operated lights really a good idea for EDC guns? So our battery-operated sights, I guess what they're saying is some sort of a illuminated reticle or a red dot on something that you're going to carry every day. So would you put I don't know, RMR or I don't know, some of those fancy little things that have batteries on your carry gun?
No, only because I think it makes them like clunky. I have a Glock 17 Frankenstein thing that has that. And it's kind of like I don't know. It's like more than you bargain for.
Well, we don't have any of the other hosts here. Obviously, I'm not doing anything like that because I'm not crazy. And Bob would say he's not doing it because it's not old-fashioned enough. And Dano would say that he would buy a very inexpensive one and try it. And Smeggy would go, I don't like carrying guns with lights on them or optics or anything. And then Z doesn't get to carry, so he would say about how bad laws are out there. So that's a wrap up of that topic. I think. Who do you think sent that one in? Can you tell?
I don't know.
I would normally say Cyclecamp because he sent in a bunch, but I don't think it was. But we do like to feature a member on Gun Channels each day when we do the show. One of the reasons we do our show on the daily is so that we can feature people, as many of them, instead of just once a week. That would only let us cover 50 people. Today we're featuring Cyclecamp. So while we featured him plenty of times before, in fact, he's been on the show. I just randomly picked people that were online in our chat room whenever it was I was scheduling out the show last, and he was there. So we're going to include him again. Heck of a good guy. One of the people I've had a chance to meet in person. So he's legit. He's either a really good robot or a human being, and supports a lot of the projects people are doing and live conversations and stuff, and participates in the chats. And overall, it's that kind of person when we built Gun Channels we hoped it would attract. So it's been a real pleasure getting to know Cyclecamp over the years. Can't wait to see what he does next.
Yep, he's definitely one of my favorite Gun Channels members. Bob, of course, is the number one.
So he's not as good as Bob, but he's doing pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really anyone that's really is on the top level such as Bob, but.
And through a contract with the Canadian government, we did allow Bob on yesterday, so everyone knows he is still alive, and we will still accept ransom money on Patreon. I'm sure that if we got to $26,000 a month, I could afford to have Bob come back to the show.
Could buy Bob's freedom from the
somewhere around 20,000 a month. We'll have him back intermittently. So that's a goal. Spend money on Patreon. All right. Well, next we will talk about something else. It's Flag Day. So anything going on in California with Flag Day? Have you been out and about today?
No, I've been working all day in the heat.
Yeah, I've been in and not in the 107-degree heat, so I did not go out today, and I have no idea what they did for Flag Day. I'm guessing out here, I live in a town that's got about half Raytheon, half U of A, half Air Force Base. So there's usually quite a bit of acknowledgement of the Flag Day. don't know if there might even be a parade, actually. But I didn't go out in it because it was too hot. But any increase in flag purchases since you sell the flags?
I did get like 3 or 4 flag purchases today, so maybe that was because it's Flag Day.
That's cool.
I mean, they were like profane flags, but it still counts.
Well, it's also the Army's birthday, and I forget which one. 200 and something doesn't really matter because we're older than the Marines. That makes us older than everybody. Suck it. Plenty of stuff going on Instagram about that. Long time listener, first time chatter. All right. Welcome to the YouTube side. Gun Channel side is better for lots of reasons. Let's go over to Gun Channels and take a look. So Gun Channels is a community. We built it in 2013. It's going on 5 years now. It is a platform. It's pretty solid. Cost a couple of grand to buy it, and a bunch of money every month to support it because it's a big fancy software package. And that means that it's just durable and it can handle a lot of weight, right? So I think of it like a giant anchor location, like a Walmart or something. It's a big, giant, empty building right now. We're not using very much of it at all, and we have it pretty much open to the public. You're welcome to jump in, create an account, and dig in. To create an account, all you need is an email address, and then I guess it probably validates your email address. It's like any system; it wants to make sure that robots and just weird spam doesn't just show up. So once you've created an account for free, you can dig in. You're going to join, and you'll be brought to this page. At the top of the page, we usually put a note to some of the live stuff that's happening that day on the regular. Down the left side, you'll get a random list of some of the shows that do shows on a regular basis, some of the channels that do shows on a regular basis, usually weekly or more. And this is a random list, so there's actually quite a few more channels than this that are doing content on a regular basis. On the main page here, you'll see a news feed, all kinds of information from the various members of Gun Channels. We got 5,000, I should start saying 6,000 members, probably hundreds of them that are active every day, something to the tune of 30,000 views to the site. And each day, even on a slow time, it's actually a lot more than that at Christmas time. But that gives you some idea of the scale of the place. It's better than Facebook. It's better than YouTube because it's built for shooters by shooters. So the people that maintain this thing are us. People that own it are us. The people that we sell your information to don't exist because we don't do that stuff. It's just a place to have conversations about guns and to explore interesting new ways to play with the internet. So if you're a content creator, we encourage you to come over, collaborate with some of the other creators over here, and explore what the internet's got to offer. Collaborate, use each other's strengths to come up with new projects. Right now, Dead Horse is doing a show and tell show where him and a guy from Florida who we met up with through Rick's American Life, does a show on Wednesdays for shooters with disabilities. Dead Horse and David met up, and they've been doing a series now for 4 or 5 weeks about the history of the 5.56. It's been thoroughly interesting to listen for hours each Thursday to these guys chat about the nerd details of the 5.56. Clover Tech just had a chat for a couple hours, I think, talking about how to better lay out your video if you're creating a video type of content. Jelsma, for some reason, dropped out of site. I don't know what's going on, but he's not posting videos, he says, for a couple months, so we'll have to get into his business and figure out what's going on there. And as you scroll down, you'll see there's all kinds of stuff posted from different people around the country and sometimes the world. If Europe didn't screw with the internet, we'd definitely be able to say the world. And that's what Gun Channels is all about. So we encourage you to check that out. Thanks for being a first-time watcher over on YouTube. But YouTube's a dying, loaded platform that's archaic and doesn't like guns or freedom. So check out some of the new platforms out there, and we'll move on to the next topic. Every day we like to talk about a gun shop, and today's no different. So we're going to talk about a place called Accuracy Gun Shop, Inc. Remember this one?
I do not.
This one is in Las Vegas, and it looks like it started in '72. Looks like he was doing championship shooting and built a shop to help support that passion. And looks like 41 years later, they still own the shop, and they have gunsmithing and low overhead. So let's see if we can't find more than just this blurb about it over on our website. I suspect I posted this one back when we were doing the um, tour of uh, Vegas gun shops. That was the intro music today. Back in 2014, I think, I went up there in November and wanted to check out the various recreational shooting opportunities for Vegas, because Vegas gets a lot of international tourism. And if you remember, there started to be quite a few full auto rental options in Vegas.
Yeah. So what kind of are there more now? Because it seems like it's still kind of big.
Yeah, and I think that's because internationally people are infringed upon, and that gives them a chance to come to Vegas and hang out, bring a family if they're not into the gun part, but then they can sneak away, actually get driven over to one of these gun shops and participate in freedom. So this is basically that same information, but now we can see the place a little bit better, and looks like their shop is or their site is kind of decent. A lot of information. They put some time into it. It's the gun shop. There's not just a picture or a page for pictures, though, so I guess I'm not going to keep looking around for pictures. So it's a shop in Henderson. Like I say, I suspect we might have checked this one out when we were doing our tour, or somebody sent it to us in an email, and we encourage people to do that. One of the reasons we do the show on the daily, so that we can feature a gun shop every day. So if you'd like to feature a shop that's big, you're a big fan of, that you've been going to for a long time, that you might have visited or encountered on a trip, take some pictures. If they say it's okay, email them to us, post them on Instagram or gun channels or whatever else, and send us a link, and we'll be happy to help promote that shop.
Gun shop of the day. Best time of the day.
So now I'm looking over at the boring parts of history. We know it's Flag Day. We know it's Army birthday. But did you know that in 1607, colonists in North America completed the James Fort in Jamestown?
I did not. And we know that of the Pocahontas fame.
Uh-oh, you know what today was? In 1752, and this is June 15th, or depending on what part of the country you're listening in. 1752, Benjamin Franklin and his son test the relationship between electricity and lightning by flying a kite in a thunderstorm.
Oh, damn.
So that's that used to be a big thing in cartoons and stuff. I don't even know if it's a thing anymore. Do you know what that whole thing is with Benjamin Franklin and the kite?
Yeah, with the lightning and the key.
Okay, so that's still a thing. So yeah, that was today.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's a thing for people younger than me, but
there's people younger than you?
There are people younger than me, yeah.
1898, the U.S. House of Representatives approved the annexation of Hawaii. So this is when we took over Hawaii, and they no longer had sovereignty. 1916, President Woodrow Wilson signed a bill incorporating the Boy Scouts of America. I guess they became incorporated today in 1916.
Is that a like a celebration or something if you're a Boy Scout, or no one cares?
I don't know of anything other than that's where you mark the year, the anniversary or whatever, if it's like a 50 or 75th or whatever it might be.
Oh.
But now there's girls in it, so
not as good.
1944, U.S. Marines began the invasion of Saipan. And that was it. So there's nothing else interesting that happened Nope, nothing else happened in history today. It was interesting. Pawnery always finds interesting stuff. So if you like that aspect of the show, if you listen to the morning show when Pawnery's just before he eats lunch or something, he takes a break. Basically, he gets to work and takes a break, and then he turns on the chat while he's working, and then he takes a break, and he'll read the newspaper and stuff, and then he'll go on lunch, and this whole time he's chatting, and then he'll take his after lunch break for a while. and then get some work done real quick, and then take a break before he leaves. And all during that time, he'll be sending out all kinds of interesting facts and things. And a lot of it is, things that happened on that day.
What does he do? Is he a union employee?
I'm not sure. I think he's a professional breaker. Breaks professionally. He tests companies' brake policies. No, he does something with a screwdriver that makes a lot of racket that he's allowed to have his phone on all day. So it works out pretty good for all of us.
Well, pretty cool.
All right, so we got people chatting over on the YouTube side, and we got 13 people over there tonight. It's probably because we're late or because we suck, but yeah, I don't even watch how many Yankee had. I'm sure it was more than that. But we are interested in people's feedback, so if you're listening and you want to be, involved in the show, and you want to add some topics or suggestions or concerns or whatever, you can email us at dailygunshow@gmail.com, especially if you've got a gun shop to recommend. Some kind of calendar event. I'm always interested in keeping the gun calendar as packed as possible so that every day somebody has some cool Second Amendment thing to talk about. And what else we got left on the show to do?
I think that's it, right?
Movie? Nah. Do you see any movies lately?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, not like ones anyone else would see.
I really want to see a movie. And let me go see if I can find it now. I thought this thing was hilarious. How am I going to?
I'm going to see Ocean's 8 tomorrow.
Oh, I've already seen that. You're talking about the girl Ocean's 11?
Yeah, was it good?
No, it's fake. There was a couple of funny parts, but then there's just dumb parts. Like they go all the way over here to do something when they could have just done it from over there. But they wanted to make it interesting how they had to get over here first. So it's just sort of as you're watching it, if you don't question anything, like why they didn't even, like once you watched them do all this and then do all that, you're like, well, they never needed to do any of that. They could have just stayed right where they were and then on to the next step. But they're just trying to make it kind of like the other movies, where they have to do procedures and whatever to get their crimes. But it's, I don't know, it's kind of funny because they're not the same characters. They're not trying to say they play the same roles, but then they kind of make fun of the roles from all the other movies.
Are you going to see the new Jurassic World?
Oh, we already saw that too. We watched that the other night on together.
No, you didn't.
Oh, we all watched it together. Yes. What was it? 1936. Anyway, I saw some funny movie this morning. Oh yeah, here it is. It's books and even a Hollywood movie. So I'm gonna try to find this movie, but So Goes My Love. The name of the movie from like the olden days, if I can. It's not gonna tell me. You ever heard of Don Amici?
I have not.
It's from, it won't tell me. Stupid Amazon. So let me go back to YouTube, see if I can get us copyrighted, and I'm probably not gonna be able to find it. Anyway, it's pretty funny. There's this movie that is made about a book. The book was written by the guy who invented the suppressor, which is the son of the guy who invented the machine gun, the Maxim machine gun.
Right, I feel like I hear this like every day now.
What?
This whole Maxim and his son thing.
Oh, well, anyway, so his son made a book, and they made a movie about it, and I was watching this little clip from the movie, and I thought it was hilarious. That was our movie of the day. All right, well, so, I don't know, that was the show. Join us back tomorrow at regular time, and
maybe there'll be a thing after. Maybe there won't.
I don't know if there'll be anything tonight. Looks like Dead Horse. No, Gun Shop's working fine, dude. Anyway, all right, that was the show.